It has Wi-Fi?
Yeah, it needs it. To sync with your phone's GPS. Without it, the chronolocator can't make sure you come back to the same place, and you'll just be, like, floating around in space.
Oh. Why is it set to October 27th, 1987?
Oh, well, because that's the day that the first murder happened. I just thought that if we could stop the Sweet 16 killer from killing in the first place...
My mom would still be alive.
Oh boy, it's a time travel podcast. My name is Nate, and with me is a co-host who'd survive any slasher flick. It's Brian Martin.
Well, at the very least, I survived the year 1987. to be here today.
Well, to have this movie tell you that's no small feat.
No. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's really tough to survive in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, in the era alone, supposedly. But yeah, we both made it.
Yeah. We're towards the end of spooky season now. Halloween's coming up.
Right around the
quickly
corner.
Here. Nate, what do you do to celebrate or get in the mood for the season, other than watching this movie we're going to talk about tonight?
Well, Waylon's mother is the one that does all the Halloween around here. You know, we get decorated. There's a big Halloween party, but I'm really more of a Christmas guy.
Okay. Well, so good news for you coming up on Christmas for this podcast.
Yeah, I can't wait.
As last year, so too this year.
Wind once at Christmas moon. True love will find you soon. Excuse me, where did that clock come from?
Oh, the Christmas clock?
Holiday season's upon us, and Halloween ushers that in for us. But yeah, that's about it. How about you guys?
Well, I'm doing my own little Halloween movie marathon right now. I just watched Pearl last night. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Pearl?
It's the second of Ty West's X trilogy.
No, I'm not familiar.
Anyway, Pearl is the best of the three, and it's really, really good. But I'm reading The Shining.
Oh.
Which I thought I had read a while back, but as I get deeper into it, I'm like, I never fucking read this book.
Really?
I may have fallen asleep watching the movie at some point, and maybe that's how it processed.
That you read it.
And I'm also just over halfway through my reread of Batman The Long Halloween, which just released a compact comics edition. So this is the third version of this story that I own.
Wow.
But I read the compact comic for All-Star Superman when we did that.
What makes it different?
It's just the size. The size.
So you bought one just because the size was different.
Well, and here's the thing. This is a 12-issue series, right?
Yeah, a good one.
$9.99. That's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, every single book in their compact comics line is $9.99. It's hitting right under that $10 price point.
Okay.
And it's a great way to get not just some really good copies of classic stories, but good loaner copies of classic stories. So if you really just want to get one and shove it in someone's face and say, read this.
Yeah, now that I think about it, All-Star Superman, when we read that, I think I had a compact version. Now that
I have the compact of All-Star and then this Long Halloween one, which is just, when I'm sitting in bed and I'm reading this at night, having something that is digest sized like this rather than the size of, I've got the original hardcover that came out, and then I've got the absolute edition of this, which is like 5 times the size of this digest size one. So this is like the perfect size to read in bed.
Well, yeah, if there's anything I like, it's having books in different sizes.
Yes.
The same book.
Yeah, the same book over and over again, in different sizes. And if they ever release one that's like the size of a postage stamp, you bet your ass I'll be buying that one. Always buy Long Halloween. Great Batman story, by the way.
Yeah,
folks.
one of the best.
If you've never read The Long Halloween, cannot recommend it highly enough. In fact, a lot of the modern Batman media you're seeing, from the Batman movie, the Penguin TV series, even The Dark Knight, heavily inspired by this story. So,
for sure. So that's Halloween related. Is this how you typically celebrate the holiday?
I mean, I read The Long Halloween a lot.
So it's not necessarily holiday related. Yeah, so we've done, is this our 4th Halloween?
This would be our 4th Halloween because remember the first Quantum Leap Halloween episode, that was the exorcism episode, right?
Right.
I know last year we did Time Crimes.
We did Time Crimes because it was kind of a slasher flick, and we're kind of following that trend again this year. But as far as Halloween podcasts, this is the first you've ever mentioned having your own movie marathon and reading for the season and everything like that. You're not a...
Look, I'm really trying hard this year.
Why?
I like Halloween, and I like immersing myself in the spooky stuff, and I just always make excuses not to, like, oh, I don't have the time to watch this or that, and I'm like, no, you got plenty of time. I've got a whole list here of movies, some of which I've seen and some of which I haven't.
Okay.
That I either want to revisit or see for the first time. Like the other night I watched Heretic for the first time, which is the movie that came out last year about the two Mormon girls that go to Hugh Grant's house and have a crisis.
Specifically Hugh Grant's house.
Have a crisis of faith. And I'll tell you what about Heretic, largely really enjoyed it, and it was way more about Jar Jar Binks than I thought it was going to be.
I have not seen this movie.
You guys are going to, if you haven't seen Heretic, you think I'm joking right now. But I shit you not, Hugh Grant does a Jar Jar Binks impression in this movie.
Jar Jar. Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar. Excuse me. Never mind.
Well... Okay.
Which alone makes it a good Halloween movie.
Like I say, I don't see things. I basically watch what we need to watch for this podcast.
You watch whatever we're watching for the podcast 1.5 times, and then you just go to the next thing.
And especially during football season. But
okay, well that's understandable. It's a demanding thing to keep up with.
Okay, so this Halloween, you did get me into the season because you made me watch a horror movie. We've talked about the fact that I don't watch horror movies.
We have, yeah.
Yeah.
This manages to be predominantly a comedy. I think first and foremost, this is a comedy.
I think it's a very interesting blend of like a lot of things.
Of time travel, comedy, and slasher movies.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but we did it, folks.
This is, in fact, one of our listener request movies.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's one of the very first, actually, and it's like, oh, okay, well, Brian's actually already got that on the list. But, yeah, it was requested by some of our listeners.
Well, good. I'm glad that, spooky season rolled around again and timing was right for it.
Timing is right.
Around the holidays, Halloween, we got to do a time travel Halloween movie. We got to do a time travel Christmas movie at the holidays.
Can't be that many of those defined.
Got to have a time travel football movie for the Super Bowl.
You did good work finding that.
Touch.
While I was up in Virginia recently, the podcast always comes up with my parents. And
Are you still doing that? Are you okay?
My mother likes to follow along, and she really enjoyed the football movie. She likes that one.
That's great, though. I mean, I love it.
I'm just thinking, oh my God, Mom.
I love that she likes that.
Relationships aren't accidents. They're decisions. And if you made one that you're not happy with, then that is called a mistake.
As long as it's that and it's not like, what the fuck was the Christmas Clock? What was that movie called?
Oh, the Christmas clock?
Timeless Christmas.
I actually have some reverence for that movie now. I don't know, like after we've watched these things, it's like I remember how fucking bored I was by Time Guardian.
Yeah.
But like when I think about Time Guardian, I'm like, yeah, Time Guardian. You know what I mean?
That thing's the fucking business.
It's just something about having done it on the podcast that I'm like, oh yeah.
You just look back on it and it's like, yeah, Time Guardian. Hell yeah, Time Guardian. Oh, God.
Time Guardian.
Hey, no spoilers, but interesting.
I really enjoyed it.
How else do you make things original these days?
All right, I don't want to get too far.
Yeah. Let's.
But I do want to say that one of my least favorite things, culturally, is when you have a piece of media that is predominantly about referencing other superior pieces of media.
Okay.
Like, I think of the song Hey Soul Sister by Train. And don't you dare play a snippet of that song.
There will be, it's already played.
Oh, God damn it. But there's so many allusions to other superior artists and pieces of work. And why, in God's name, Train, would you create a song that just makes me want to stop listening to you and go listen to other better things? You know? And so there's examples of this all over the place. And this movie wears its influences on its sleeve. Totally
Sure.
Killer, 2023 Amazon Prime original movie, which references the two things that seem to have the biggest bearing on it, Scream and Back to the Future. Right? At different intervals, refers to both of them. And I don't hate it. I'm like, no, you know what? They actually found a way to make this work.
Yeah.
In a way that makes this wholly unique and fun to watch. Like, there's no point at which I'm like, yeah, but I'd rather be watching Back to the Future. I'm like, this is a totally different experience. And I think it's because they blend the serial killer and the time travel fish out of water story in a way that is very engaging. And they got a great actress to carry the movie. So
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch, that's right. Sally Draper.
Yeah, so Totally Killer. You got me watching a slasher flick for Halloween. I'm ready to talk about it. Can you tell me what the movie was about?
Whoa, wait a minute. Doc, are you trying to tell me that my mother has got the hots for me?
Precisely.
So first, I'm going to, of course, tell you a little bit about the forces behind it. It was written by David Madelon, Sasha Perry Raver, and Jen D'Angelo from a story by Madelon and Perry Raver. Directed by Nahatchka Khan, who is the creator of the TV shows Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 and Fresh Off the Boat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both of which are, fairly popular shows, I think.
Okay, I've heard they're good.
Yeah. If nothing else, I think Don't Trust the Bee brought us Kristen Ritter. It was that and Breaking Bad that kind of established Kristen Ritter as right?
Yeah.
I'm not making that up. That's the first time I noticed her.
All I know is James Vanderbeek plays himself.
Yeah.
Which I find fun.
It's kind of all I need to know.
Even though I've never seen an episode of this show at all. But
it's a great idea. Great premise.
Exactly. Yeah.
The movie's produced by, among others, Jason Blum, whose Blumhouse Productions is well known among horror fans for bringing us movies like The Gift, Hush, Get Out. You saw Get Out, right?
No. Did I?
That's
I
the
didn't.
Jordan Peele movie?
No, I know what it is. It's just I know it so well from everything, but I don't think I actually saw it.
All right. Happy Death Day. And then, all right.
I can't believe that. I was so ready to say, of course I saw Get Out, but I have not seen Get Out. Everybody's talked so much about Get Out that I feel like I may have seen Get Out, but I didn't. I didn't watch that movie. I saw Us.
Okay, well, you saw Us, but you missed Get Out. Like, what is going on here?
Well, people said Get Out was good, and then Us was in the theater. So
okay, all right. That's fair.
Okay.
And also franchises like Paranormal Activity, Insidious, and The Purge. All things Nate has heard of.
Yeah, I am familiar with the fact that those exist.
Totally Killer stars Kiernan Shipka, previously referred to by us as Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and Sally Draper of Mad Men fame. Here she stars as Jamie Hughes, Olivia Holt and Julie Bowen as teenage and adult Pam Miller. Bowen, probably best known for playing Claire Dunphy on Modern Family, and she was also on Lost as Jack's ex-wife.
And Happy Gilmore.
And of course, Happy Gilmore as well.
Yeah, and Happy Gilmore too.
Charlie Gillespie and Lachlan Monroe as teenage and adult Blake Hughes. That's Jamie's dad. Lachlan Monroe, probably most recently known for playing Hal Cooper on Riverdale. That's Betty Cooper's dad. And Larry Fitzgibbon on Peacemaker is probably where most of you will know him from. Troy L. Johnson and Kimberly Huey as Lauren Creston. Kelsey Mawima as Amelia Creston, and notably appearing here, Randall Park as Sheriff Lim.
Yeah.
Randall Park, best known to us as Agent Jimmy Woo in the MCU.
In the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Ant-Man films and in WandaVision.
Yeah.
So that was fun to see him turn up.
I enjoyed him as Jim on The Office.
I don't know who you are, but you are not Jim.
You remember when he showed up as
Right.
Jim on The Office?
Yes, that's a good one. Okay, this movie.
Precisely.
The small town of Vernon is an idyllic village like any other. Everyone knows each other. The school personnel are barely qualified. There's a hapless sheriff. And there's plenty of gossip, especially surrounding a horrifying unsolved crime from 36 years prior. Over 3 nights in October of 1987, a mysterious figure dubbed the Sweet 16 Killer murdered 3 16-year-old girls, stabbing each one of them, you guessed it, 16 times. While the murders seemed to stop there, Halloween Night 2023 changes everything when Pam Hughes, the last surviving member of her high school clique, is killed in her home, shaking the community to its core and sending her daughter, Jamie, on a quest for answers. As she sniffs around, Jamie meets with the local true crime podcaster. I mean, all towns have a local true crime podcaster.
Yeah,
Chris
who
Dubasage.
doesn't have a podcast?
Chris Dubasage. And Jamie confides in her best friend Amelia, a prodigy who is hard at work trying to complete her mother's designs for, get this, a time machine for the high school science fair. Like, this is where things start to really go, like, what? This is what we're doing? When Jamie herself is targeted by the Sweet 16 Killer, she seeks refuge in Amelia's time machine, inadvertently traveling back to 1987. There, she meets her mother as a certifiable mean girl, along with her still-alive besties Marissa, Tiffany, and Heather, who have not yet been murdered by the killer. In fact, most of the familiar adult faces in Jamie's life are there in teenage form. The school principal, the athletics coach, the sheriff, her dad, and even that podcaster guy I was talking about a second ago. As Jamie tries to varying success to alter the course of town history before the girls are taken out one by one, she also enlists Lauren Creston, Amelia's mother, to help her complete the original time machine plan so she can find a way back to 2023. Of course, that can only happen if Jamie, altering history left and right out here, can herself survive the 1987 Sweet 16 murders.
God, that's a lot of characters.
It's a lot, but it's because we see them in the future, we see them in the past.
Yeah, I mean, a slasher flick has to have like a lot of victims, right? So there's several.
You got to have a bunch of expendable people in a slasher.
Exactly, yeah.
And the funny thing about this movie is that all the characters are inherently expendable, but a lot of them survive because that's kind of the point.
Yeah, no spoilers. I would say, you know, we usually don't really give spoiler warnings, but I'm going to give a spoiler warning. I think this is worth watching. And I think that it's fun enough that I would advise go ahead and watch that movie and then come back and listen. Go ahead and give us the download. That's always nice. But
sure. But come back after you've seen the movie. It's not long. It's an hour and 40 minutes long. It's a breezy movie. And for the genre mashup that we're dealing with here, it is so well balanced between the slasher portion, the comedy portion, the time travel portion. Like, all of these things feel like they should not be working together the way that they are. But it's really, really well balanced.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like I said, there will be spoilers in this. We're going to talk about, you know, who the killer was and all of the things that you like to figure out for yourself during a slasher movie like this.
Sure.
But yeah, I agree. It is blended very nicely. I will say, even in your synopsis there, the fact that the high school student is just making a time machine for the science fair, can we think of another way for the time travel to have happened?
It's not just that. It's not just that. It's the fact that that whole scene feels so strange because Jamie shows up at this like rundown abandoned amusement park.
Right.
Which is where they're having the science fair. And there's just people wandering around. I'm like, why are these people wandering around a clearly abandoned, probably very rusty and dangerous amusement park?
Why are they having the science fair in the most haunted place imaginable?
Principal Summers got it for free, you know, to help bring people back in. This used to be the place to hang in Vernon, but now it's just another stop on the murder tour.
Is this seriously your project? A photo booth?
It's more than just a photo booth, Derek.
What is it then?
Something that's gonna change the world as we know it. But good luck with your compost. Box of shit vegetables.
They got the place for free, right? They got the spot for free, so it costs the school nothing to host it here. Which is funny. Of course, the narrative reason it has to take place there is that the time machine is a photo booth, right?
Yeah.
And when the time machine goes back to 1987, or when you were transported back, the photo booth is consistent with the era, right? So it makes sense in that regard, but literally nothing about that truly makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one reach. And so
Amelia, what are you building? Time machine?
Yeah, she's just so open about it, too.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I guess it is her science fair project, but...
Why doesn't it work? I ain't got a knife in the dash yet. Also kind of funny, it doesn't work until it gets stabbed.
It needs that conductor.
Yeah.
I watched the movie once and a half, I think I may have mentioned, but on first watch, the beginning of the movie seemed really oddly paced. Like, it seemed really fast and almost like cut together in a way that a movie shouldn't be. Like,
it doesn't give you a lot of information very organically. It opens with kind of an info dump.
Yeah.
You don't really get a good feel for your main character for several minutes.
It's kind of spotty in a way. Like, right before she time travels, there's kind of this break that felt really choppy and weird. You know, she comes to the old abandoned fair or whatever, and she gets startled by a sculpture of some kind, and then her friend startles her again, and then the killer shows up. Just like bang, bang, bang.
Jamie! Oh my god, it's me! It's me! Oh my god. Did you just pepper spray the witch?
A little bit. I need to talk to you. I need your help to catch the Sweet 16 killer. He tortured my mom her whole life, and I can't let him keep getting away with it.
And the only thing I could think is, like, there's no reason for the friend to be there and have startled her.
She's just very jumpy.
Like, why was that character even there? It just felt, for some reason, really, really choppy at the beginning. And on the second time I watched it, I didn't have that same experience, so I don't.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know. I had already seen it and I knew what I was expecting. But
no, I think you're onto something, and I think the movie does find its groove once she travels back to 1987. Like, I think the movie is ultimately most comfortable as a fish out of water story, and it takes the time travel to get there. You know.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. Getting there was a hiccup for me. Why would they just be able to make a time machine? Like, you know, like that's a different movie.
Yes, and so the time travel at the beginning, the introduction of it, I agree, very strange. The beginning where Jamie's mother is murdered, it's this terrible thing that befalls this family, and there are humorous moments leading up to that.
Yeah,
but that really happens like 10 minutes into the movie, right? There's not a lot that happens before the murder.
No, that's true.
It does feel like there's two different movies happening until it all kind of blends together once we've traveled back in time.
Once they're in 1987, it really starts firing.
So I don't disagree with that. Everything that happens prior to the time travel is just there to get us to the time travel, to get us to the point where we can do this, and it happens
to get us back to the
quickly.
80s. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, even the murder of the mom at the beginning, the inciting incident, there are moments within the attack that are played for a laugh. You know, like she's wholly ready to defend herself, including
right, like she spent 36 years training for this.
Yeah.
I've been worried about being murdered since I was 16. You thought I wouldn't be prepared?
Got hidden guns all around the house or whatever.
Like a whole long kiss goodnight scenario. Yeah.
She's a karate master. And I think I've said on the podcast before, too, I'm not one that typically laughs out loud at things, even if I'm finding them generally humorous. But there were some moments in here where, you know, the comedy was really landing. It made me laugh.
You know, when you sit in the back like I'm an Uber driver, it kind of hurts my feelings.
Dad, please. 1 star.
So it was
multiple times.
successful as a comedy, successful as a slasher flick, successful as a time travel movie in the latter half. I'm going to eat this strawberry, by the way. I've got strawberries and water tonight. What do you have anything
strawberries
with
and
you?
Waters. Bourbon.
Bourbon. Okay, you're drinking.
Brownest of the brown liquors.
Yeah, tonight's not a night to drink for me, but
No, it's my anniversary. Tonight's my wedding anniversary night.
what the fuck are you doing? Recording a podcast.
We're going to dinner tomorrow. We can't do this.
Oh my God. Happy anniversary to you and your lovely wife who's allowing you
What's her
to
name?
talk about Totally Killer. Did she watch the movie with you?
Oh, no. No, of course not.
No, of course not.
She probably would have been interested, but she wouldn't have made it through it. So, with regards to Amelia being able to build this time machine, there is setup here. It's sort of Back to the Future way of young Doc and old Doc, right? But here it's presented as her mother, Lauren, who started designing this in her high school years and was gifted in engineering and ended up working at like an assembly plant or something, I think. You know, it's like her dream was never really realized as an adult. And we find that out in just a few lines of dialogue.
Yeah, we're not exactly sure what it was that derailed her, but she definitely, at the beginning, seems defeated, like maybe she hadn't lived the life that she wanted to lead.
Hey, Miss Creston.
Hi, Jamie. Have fun at the concert.
Hey, Lauren. Up to anything fun tonight?
Just going to work. Weirdly, the manufacturing industry doesn't celebrate Halloween.
All right. Good to see you.
Right. And then so we're given Amelia, and she's like, I've taken my mother's projects that she's given up on, and I'm going to try to turn it around and turn it into something. And I mean, the movie does not give you a whole lot to chew on in that regard. It's really just a 1, 2, 3, bop, bop, bop.
Right. That's the kind of thing I was talking about.
But it's like, it's just enough to kind of...
We just got to get there.
Get you in that headspace. Knowing that she's working on this as a high school project, it seems, truly implausible for a kid to be doing this. But within the narrative of the story, it's like, well, her mom already did a lot of the work, and her daughter's just come along, and I think I'm going to try this and this and this.
Yeah, like a lot of science fair projects.
Sure.
The parents already done half the work.
True. That is very true.
But that's a really fun aspect. The fact that once she's traveled back, Jamie ends up spending a lot of time with her best friend's mother and becomes friends with her.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end has changed the relationship that she has with Amelia's mother. I look forward to talking about the time travel aspect of this.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot.
We get at the end, there's a lot to cover there.
Deceptively a lot. Like, you don't think this movie's going to really go into the meat of the time travel itself?
Well, I would argue that it leaves some to be desired.
That's one of the things I was making notes about before we started recording here, because there's one area in particular that I have a doubt or a question about.
Right. There are a few things. But sorry, Dad, we're gonna kick that can down the road a minute.
Yeah, I mean, it's the money shot. That's the money shot. We gotta save that for
the time travel comes at the end.
Yeah. Cannot wait to rate the time travel in this one. I do want to throw that out. That's fun. We got an actual time machine this week.
Yeah. But leading up to that, I mean, we're just dealing with what could be your typical slasher.
Yeah.
But the added comedy elements. I mean, there are other comedy slashers.
Scream is a comedy. like I want, Scream is designed to be a send-up of horror movie tropes,
Right.
So technically Scream is supposed to be a comedy. A lot of, it's also very effective as a slasher movie, though. So this is more effective as a comedy.
Yeah, because they got less and less funny.
I don't know. This Scream 3 had Jay and Silent Bob in it.
Oh, that's true.
I guess you're right. They did get less and less funny.
Oh, God.
But that ain't like us at all slapsticky and shit, run around like a couple of dickheads saying snoochy boochies.
There are so many creative elements of this that make it a unique slasher movie, but the fish out of water time travel element really does make this interesting because she knows that the murders are going to happen, who's going to die, and supposedly when. Right?
Right.
That's how this is different. Like, it's a slasher movie, and you know there's a slasher out there coming to get them, but you know more than you usually do.
Right.
And that's an interesting take, to have somebody trying to prevent something that's already happened. And then in the process ends up changing the course of things without actually preventing anything.
And I think we should also note that the true crime podcaster, Chris, Jamie has an entire podcast episode saved on her phone detailing when and how the murders took place.
I do wish they had played with that more.
I think it became difficult after the first killing.
Yeah.
For them to be like, okay, do we keep bringing this up? Would the recording have changed? I mean, the answer, given the rules of the movie, is no, the recording would not have changed.
Yeah, what are the rules of the movie?
Oh, what are the rules? What are the rules? What are the rules? What are the rules?
But I don't think they were confident enough in those rules to bring the podcast in again. It also didn't really matter because once she started altering who got murdered and when, the details of that podcast would have been moot anyhow because she had outdated information.
That really was fascinating at the beginning. Like, that aspect of it was like, oh, they're going to kind of do this dance between the past and the future. And
yeah, because we keep hopping back and forth.
We're going to hop back and forth a little bit, but they then don't. Like, they kind of set it up and then don't follow through with that necessarily. Like you said, it seemed like it may have just been more difficult after the first murder changed.
As we get deeper into it,
as you get deeper into it,
harder to make those adjustments. So then they're just like, well, let's save the punchy stuff for the very end.
Yeah.
And the very end, I would say the end of this movie delivers in spades. Like, I thought that was...
Yeah.
That was a great ending.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. And the other thing that I wanted to say about this, because it's a fish out of water story, and that's sort of what makes this unique, I think we need to talk about the way they treat the 80s in this movie.
Okay, so I have two minds on this.
Okay.
I'm sorry that I'm going to bring this up. Wonder Woman 1984.
Okay.
Set in 1984, right?
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they told us anyway. Did they do jack shit with it? No. Did they have a killer fucking soundtrack? No. There was nothing inherently 80s except for Chris Pine's fanny pack.
That's what I hear. I didn't see that movie.
Anyway, yeah, don't waste your time with it. It sucked. But why have a period piece when you don't immerse yourself in the aesthetic of that period? It would have been like Stranger Things saying, it's 1981, and then they do nothing with it. You know?
Right.
This movie kind of goes in the complete opposite direction because it's a version of the 80s that's like, what if a caricature artist at the mall drew the 80s? You know? Like, the first person Jamie encounters when she gets to the 80s is this woman who is chain smoking in her car.
Excuse me. What year is it?
1987.
Oh my god.
I know. The 80s are almost over and I haven't even tried Coke yet.
I'm looking for Pam Hughes. She's my friend.
Hi, and she's probably at school. Where you should be. I'll give you a ride.
What? No. Can't get in a car with you. You're a total stranger. You could be a serial killer.
Oh, sweetheart. Would a serial killer wear Gloria Vanderbilt?
The 80s are almost over and I haven't even tried Coke yet.
Yeah.
You know, like that's where we start.
Right. It's almost like
she gets to the school, gets out of the car, sees the big Indian painted on the side and says,
and there's the racism. Knew that was coming. Oh, God.
Yeah.
You know? And all of that works great. I'm not slighting the movie at all, but it does play in a very exaggerated way with the era it's set in.
Right, exactly. And it's played for laughs. Stranger Things, I always thought, handled the 1980s really well because they didn't spend a lot of time pointing out that it was the 80s, but it was clear that it was the 80s, and the story kind of happened in that environment.
It's there to set a mood.
It's
right?
there to set a mood. It gives limitations to the things that you can do. People don't have cell phones, etc. So it was just sort of like, yeah, it's in the 80s, and it gives you an aesthetic and a mood, and that's kind of fun. But nobody's going, hey, check out this Rubik's Cube. I can't figure it out. Nope, nope. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's not like screaming in your face, hey, this is the 80s. But what it did do was usher in a bunch of 80s stuff. Just like a shit ton of 80s nostalgia stuff.
Yeah, you're
that
right.
came with that. And some of them treat it better than others. But this movie, Totally Killer, does it differently than I think any of those others did, because it seems to be outwardly poking fun at the 80s in a way that says, can you fucking believe this was a time period?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And I think having the character interact in a Marty McFly way with her parents and the friends that her parents have, you know, it's like, oh my God, like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? And those kids are largely acting pretty authentically 80s.
Well, I was going to say it's very authentically 80s movie.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember
right.
the 80s necessarily being that way, but
there's a lot of references in here, too, of John Hughes movies, right?
Molly Ringwald, yeah.
The girl clique are called the Mollies after Molly Ringwald.
And they always dress like Molly Ringwald, like different versions of Molly Ringwald.
Yeah, that's really funny, too. Blake, his last name's Hughes. So Jamie's last name is Hughes, and that's not an accident, right?
No, of course,
but narratively, in terms of the universe of the story, I have to wonder if the reason that the Mollies kept Blake around is simply because his last name was Hughes. Like,
that's kind of funny.
You know?
It would have been funny if they'd made some kind of reference to that.
Made a joke about it.
That would have been good.
All those weird 80s teen archetypes are here.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite of which,
the jock
guy
that's always grabbing his crotch and
absolute fucking blockhead, this dude.
Yeah, it's great.
Randy's his name. When he throws Jamie out of the party and he like picks her up, throws her on the ground.
What? What the fuck?
Woo!
Is that like a real person?
Spends like 7 or 8 seconds just belching and then high fives Kim and like, woo, you know, just like, it's like, I don't even understand what just happened here. Was it threatening? Is he bullying her?
It's just a caricature, man.
Like a lummox like that, is he even capable of bullying intentionally? No, he's just acting like a lummox. And
yeah, exactly.
He's a delight to watch. And when you see Randy in the future, at first, when the principal and the sheriff and Randy are talking to the high school class, and the principal introduces him, he's like,
yeah, so the first thing you want to do if you see the killer is run. Remember, avoid the knife. Keep your life. Go Devils.
Run. And that's the only piece of advice he has.
Avoid the knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you meet him as a young man, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like, oh, I get it. I want to say it's original, but I feel like it's pointing out jokes that other things have made, but for some reason I like the way that they're doing this. Like, it's over the top how 80s all of it is. And I point to like the gym coach, right? Gym class and dodgeball.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they don't play dodgeball at school anymore for this very reason. Kids gang up on people. It's a chance to bully in gym.
Yeah.
And the teacher's just like on the side of the bullies, basically.
Yeah. Suck it up.
But like, it's played for laughs and it is funny, but it was also true.
Hot tip. Next time, catch the ball. Okay? Then I don't have to touch your gross little kid blood. It's disgusting.
All right, good work out there, winners, huh? Wish I could say the same for the losers, but I can't. Hit the showers, let's go.
Thank you, Coach Stain.
The only thing they left out of the movie is the part where you get picked for your teams. Like you line up,
a really good point.
Choose 2 captains and pick who you want on your team. I mean, that stuff was real, and like they make jokes about it now, but
oh yeah, it was tough. It was psychologically scarring. It's amazing that we put kids through that, and by kids I mean Nate and me.
right.
Something that's really struck me as funny.
Okay.
Every single reaction Kiernan Shipka has to the dodgeball scene is great. What the fuck? And when she's in slow motion saying, "How is this even legal?"
Yeah. And that poor kid gets their retainer knocked out of their face,
Oh, God. Yeah. It's horrific. She comes into gym class and is like, "These are our clothes? Why do we look like we're working at Hooters?" That's great stuff.
Yeah, and because Jamie she's a modern teenager, right? Yeah. So she's living in all of the safe zones that all of the boomers are saying back in our day, right?
Right, exactly.
And like one of the times Randy tries to like throw her out of the party, she's like, "Ooh, unwanted touch."
Yes.
That's just a thing.
Nice try.
Unwanted touch. Oh my God, unwanted touch.
Unwanted human. Yo, there's Dungeons and Dragons down the street.
The one that gets me the most, well, okay, 2 of them really get me. One, the RoboCop clip.
Do the machines kill us all?
And they're watching RoboCop.
Yeah.
And it occurs to you then in this movie how inappropriate that movie was.
You're right.
Because the scene they decide to show is just
the Ed 209 scene.
Riddling that room full of bullets.
Just decimating an entire boardroom.
Dying everywhere.
Just chunks of meat flying around.
And you're just like, yeah, that was okay.
Yeah, we were watching that. That same scene, though, they watch it over at Pam's, right? And she turns out to be this closet nerd kind of almost because she's got all these videos up there. Did you catch some of the titles she had?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't write them down, but I noticed.
Above the TV, she had Dune, Lynch's Dune, Terminator, The Empire Strikes Back, Tron, Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah.
I was like, Buckaroo Banzai, come on.
Wasn't Reanimator one of them?
Reanimator was up there too, yeah.
Yeah.
All the classic niche genre films of the 1980s were up there. I gotta love that.
Tell anyone and I'll kill you.
Yeah, the second one, and the one I definitely want to touch on, was the school security. And reason being is because I recently had a parent-teacher conference with my 10-year-old.
Oh, sure. It's like going into a prison.
It is. We had to go through a metal detector.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest, I expected to meet up with the teacher right there at the door. She was going to let us in, meet us at the front door and whatever. And I anticipated this scenario where we would walk in, I'd have Waylon with me, I'd meet the teacher, I'd shake her hand, and we'd walk to the class. No.
You have to disrobe, you got to spray you down, they got to do a cavity search.
They wouldn't let me past the first wall. I had to go into a little side office where they took a picture of my driver's license, put that on file so that they could print out a name tag that had my picture on it before the teacher would even come greet me. And I was so taken aback by that because I guess I had not been in the school during operating school hours.
Okay.
Since when, you know what I mean? Like we've been there for orientation. We've been there for assemblies after the fact, or like a holiday program, after hours kind of stuff where, you got to walk through the metal detector, but then once you're in, you're in. But during school hours, while the students were there, it was like Fort Knox getting into that place.
Yeah, and I guess I take it for granted because I'm in schools a lot.
Yeah, okay.
Like for my kid and for just my job, I'm doing this process a lot.
Sure.
So we had to go for a teacher conference at one point, I guess when Miles was in kindergarten, and Jacqueline left her driver's license at home. Like she didn't have I was like, what the why would you do that? And she's like, I don't know. I was like, well, I'm going back for the meeting. You take the keys, go back home and get your driver's license. But I'm meeting with this teacher because I'm not going to eat up all of her time. Time is precious. And I understand that. But I mean, for somebody who doesn't go to school all the time, it really is. it catches you off guard. You're like, wait, I need what? You need a sample of what from me?
Yeah, exactly. And this movie illustrates it more how I kind of assumed it would be. You could just walk up to the information desk and be like, I need to know where this student is.
Right.
And they would just say, let me check her schedule. Like, I keep
oh,
track
here you
on
go.
where these kids are, but I'm not...
Hi, I transferred here from Canada. Here's your schedule.
Yeah.
You know, like no questions asked whatsoever.
And then later when she goes in looking for Amelia's mom, and she's just like, I need to know where this student is.
I need to know what class Lauren Creston is in. I know that's private information, but it's an emergency. I have an EpiPen that she needs due to a
Earth
severe...
Sciences Room 217.
Oh, thanks.
They just look her up and are
Just-
like,
just
yeah,
immediately.
she's in this room. And kind of felt like that's what I was expecting it
like
as.
it's an exaggeration, but only a little. You know, it's not like a super big exaggeration.
No. I mean, it's kind of how I remembered things. Information was readily available.
Oh my god, flying on a plane right now must be insane.
I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, but back when I was 15, 16 years ago, when I was applying for teacher positions, I did interview at a school, and they had to get my driver's license and everything. And it turns out there was another Brian Martin in Virginia who was a registered sex offender. And they
Sure,
were like,
Virginia. Right.
you don't live in Virginia, right? I was like, no. And like, it's just that, well, take a look. And they had his picture on the screen, and I was like, oh, I can see how you get us confused. He's got that same dead, glazed over look in his eyes that I have. And I was joking. I mean, we look nothing alike. But when I told my dad this anecdote after I left the school, you know what my dad said, right?
Sure.
Well, first of all, he's a dad. So the best piece of advice he had for me was to literally include on my resume a line about how I'm not the sex offender from Virginia.
That's funny.
And I was like, Dad, you realize nothing is going to make them think I'm a registered sex offender faster
More
than me
saying
saying
no.
unsolicited that I am definitely not a sex offender, right?
No. He's a sex offender with a record. He did 6 months of Chino for exposing himself to an 8-year-old.
We should back it up just a second, though, because I had a question about the way this movie actually opens.
Okay.
The opening titles of this, and I guess I didn't think about it too much at the time, but what is the significance of having all of the murders played out in sort of a dollhouse scenario?
Oh, yeah. I don't even think that registered with me, honestly.
Yeah, so at the beginning, as they're going through the backstory of the 3 young ladies that had been murdered in 1987, they've got little dolls and stuff that illustrate the scene, and they kind of pan through that and then splice it up with actual images, frames of the actual film.
Yeah.
You know, like the actual movie.
Is it news reports or is it the podcaster talking about it?
It's the podcaster, so I'm wondering if maybe he set these things up himself.
He seems to be
there
hosting some
is
sort of
a tour,
reality tour at the beginning, right?
Right.
And that's the way this is kind of treated early on. It's like these murders have gained cult status, right?
Right.
There are people dressed as the killer on Halloween.
That's weird, too.
It does seem strange. But I mean, like, 36 years is a lot of time. Is it long enough?
It's not, though.
We can start...
It's not a lot of time. Once you get to be our age, I don't feel like 30 years is all that long ago. I mean, it's not like people forget this stuff.
Are people dressing as, like, John Wayne Gacy for Halloween?
No, but no.
I don't know. I think they probably are.
Are they? I don't know.
I think they are.
Okay. Do we think that people would do that? Would they sell masks?
This guy got his mask from somewhere. The actual killer. I don't know what that mask is supposed to be. At first, I thought it was supposed to be Beavis.
Yeah, not sure what it really is. But if a mask is being mass-produced, and then somebody wears that mask in order to commit grisly murders,
you
that
definitely
thing would be
sell
pulled
more
off.
of them.
No, I was going to say it'd be pulled right off the market. They would not sell that mask.
It would depend on who got killed.
I don't know, man.
I hate to say it, but it would really depend. No, you're probably right.
At
realistic.
any rate, it seemed like a strange reaction to a local tragedy.
Let's give it up for Angie, who wishes there were more people killed.
But unless that character's supposed to be somebody, like if somebody was wearing a Mickey Mouse mask and committed a murder, it's not like we're just suddenly not going to have Mickey Mouse masks anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't think that would happen. Mickey Mouse would have to come out and make a public statement.
It wasn't me.
I'm not associated with the murderer. The character that this guy is dressed up as, though, I don't know what it's supposed to be.
Well, what do we think of this mask, though? Is it scary? Is it funny? Or is it funny at first and then scary?
I think it toes the line like a lot of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's presented in a way that makes it seem scary, but on the surface, it is ludicrous. It looks like, again, it looks kind of like Beavis.
Yeah, it's a silly looking mask, but I think any big rubber mask that's silent, they're all scary.
Right. Don't forget that Michael Myers' mask in Halloween was a William Shatner mask.
Yeah.
You know, it's not intended to be scary.
It wasn't recognizable as him, though, I don't feel like. But yeah, I mean, any mask in complete silence is unnerving. Definitely unnerving because of the secrecy that's involved.
Anything that seems out of place, right?
You don't know what's under that mask.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a Halloween. It's clearly like a Halloween costume, you know?
Yeah, clearly it's some kind of fictional character made up for the movie, but I think it's a scary look.
It is. You can't see the eyes. There's just shadows there. It's stuck in this sort of rictus, right? So it's always grinning at you.
Yeah.
But it's not like grinning maniacally. It's just grinning uncomfortably.
Right.
Like, got a real skeevy look about it.
What are the other scary masks? Like, obviously, the Scream mask.
Oh, yeah, Ghostface.
What's this one, this phone booth thing? The black phone?
The black phone?
Yeah, that thing's kind of creepy.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. There's the strangers, they have masks. Of course, Jason has the hockey mask. Maybe the most iconic of all of them.
Yeah.
I think it's probably it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people will fight me on that, I'm sure. Like, people would say, no, it's Michael Myers, no, it's Scream. And maybe Scream did take it at this point, and that's now the most iconic horror mask ever.
Yeah, for this era.
But I mean,
maybe so.
The hockey mask, man. You know?
Just talking about this in relation to all of those other movies, could there be like a Totally Killer 6? Or are we done?
I don't see how you make a sequel to this. I don't know why you'd want to make a sequel to it.
Well, why would you ever want to make a sequel to anything? Except to make the money, right? So, like, I guess my point is any one of these slasher movies could have stopped at 1.
Oh, sure. Sure.
And isn't it typical of slasher movies to have sequels? Wouldn't it be appropriate for this movie to have a sequel?
I would say most of those straight slasher movies end in a way that suggests that a sequel is imminent or that there is potential there for it. I'm thinking of the original Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. Both of those end in ways that imply that the villain or the next villain is still out there. Even when you get into more modern stuff like It Follows, there is still this lingering feeling like they're not out of the woods. And in fact, It Follows now has a sequel coming. So
it does seem like the killer is often dead at the end, quote unquote. Oh, we've really gotten rid of him this time.
Well, it definitely seems like the killers are both dead in this one.
Right, but look, slashers get sequels, Brian.
Then again, one of the killers absolutely dead, unless we do some chronological shenanigans.
We're talking about time travel here.
Yeah, but the other one, you remember, and this is getting into the time travel aspect of it, but the, let's say, revised history version of one of the killers is off at like a monastery somewhere, right? At the end of the movie. But one of the characters, Lauren, as an adult, has been keeping tabs on him just to make sure he stays out of trouble, right?
There you go.
Because this character did not become a killer, but, you know, another version of him did. So who knows what this one's capable of, right?
I mean, when you're dealing with time travel, there's a myriad of ways that you could bring somebody back.
Yeah.
Any luck reviving her?
No, sir.
We'll have to recruit her again.
And slashers are supposed to have sequels.
I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it if we had a sequel to this.
If it's a good one.
Yeah. Maintain the quality, send her back to the 90s this time.
I mean, that's what it would be, right? You'd move to another time period. But given that we're on a podcast here, we should talk about the fact that there's a podcast involved in this.
This is a very anti-podcaster movie. I just want to get that out there. The podcaster ends up being one of the killers, folks.
And he's kind of wormy and unlikable to begin with.
He's a weird guy. Like, yeah, he's not a very likable person. Right. Now, I would say also, though, that he's a true crime podcaster, and we all know those guys are weirdos. Right?
You're going to get us ostracized from the podcast community.
Just from the women. Just from the true crime women. Did you see that bit on SNL about, like, instead of hanging with their husbands, they're going to have a girls' night in?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and they're just going to watch true crime documentaries on Netflix?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That's like the most basic white bitch thing to do now, I think.
Yeah, watching my shows or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, true crime podcast, obviously a hot topic, and there's a lot of them. So it makes perfect sense to me that this character exists in this movie.
And we touched on it really, really briefly, but there is at first an element of involving the podcast as a tool to Jamie in the past, right?
Yes.
She's got the podcast on her phone, and she's using it as a tool to sort of guide her on what she should do in order to help prevent the murders. And I thought that was going to be a really interesting twist that, again, they just kind of left.
I think they use it long enough for it to be, like, serviceable without raising questions. Because what does she primarily use that for? Well, one of the things about Jamie that makes her character interesting when you stack it up against other time travelers is that she's operating from a backlog of time travel stories. Like, she's aware of Back to the Future. She understands what her role in the past is and what she can and can't do, right?
Or she thinks she does, yeah.
She keeps bringing it up with people. Like, did you see Back to the Future? And it's like, no, but I heard it was really good.
Can you please just watch Back to the Future?
Okay, I don't know what you troublemakers get up to in Canada, but down here, we don't tolerate shenanigans.
But she uses the podcast as a tool to convince the people around her that she herself is psychic. Right? I know where these things are going to happen. I know when they're going to happen, and I can describe it to you, in vivid detail. Mm-hmm. And she's operating from the podcast. And once she's done that, I guess the podcast is kind of narratively unnecessary, even though it's a cool idea for a tool.
Yeah. I wish they'd played with it a little more.
But the continued employment of it would raise questions as far as, like, how the time travel works. Because either the rules that the movie has largely set up and largely adheres to would have been out the window if the podcast started changing as she altered history.
Mm-hmm.
Or it would have just stayed like it should have, given the rules that are set by the movie as it was originally recorded, and it would have been useless to her, right? Because history has changed, the order of the killings has changed.
Well, it has an opportunity to be used the same way the photograph does in Back to the Future.
Okay,
Marty's photograph that is constantly changing based on the actions that are taken, and how it affects the time stream. I thought that it might be something like that, and the fact that as she affects the past, it's showing up in the future.
Yes, you see things happening in real time in the future. Characters
and changing
remembering
people's
things
memories
that happen.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I found that really interesting, and I kind of wish they had played with it throughout the movie rather than just at the end. But
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying there wasn't a way to do it. I just think they kind of made their choice and went in a different direction, so it became hard for them to do that. I think the second that Lauren starts talking about the thing that Back to the Future got wrong about time travel, right? Which is when Jamie starts panicking about her parents meeting and falling in love too early.
Right. Am I going to disappear? Yeah.
The Back to the Future plot kind of flips on its head because her goal is not to get her parents together. Her goal is to keep them apart.
Yeah.
So they can then come together like 4 years down the road after college and then sire her and get married and have their actual adult relationship. But right now they're too horny.
Because they'll mess it up.
She's constantly trying to get between them and push them apart, which is really funny.
Yeah.
But
it is kind of funny.
What she posits to Lauren is, is it going to be like Back to the Future where if they don't get together, I just disappear?
If I fuck up my parents falling in love and getting married,
Will I just, like, disappear?
Back to the Future got that wrong. No, you would not disappear. This isn't magic. If your parents don't get married and have kids, then you'd basically just have no life to go home to, because everything would be different. No one would have any idea who you are. Save you a seat at lunch.
Great.
And that's kind of why the podcast thing doesn't really work beyond that point, right? Because theoretically, she is existing linearly in her perspective, and so is that podcast she's got in her phone, because the phone is with her, right? So the podcast isn't going to change in real time as the future is affected.
But other evidence of it is, remember the photograph on as the murders change, the photo and the data and the evidence that the podcaster has in 2023 has changed.
Right, but that's in the future. She's divorced herself from that timeline at this point. And everything on her, everything she's brought back with her, that's not changing. It's not
but
adjusting.
somehow it's changing the evidence of the case and the things that they have in their possessions, but not their memories. Only kind of their memories.
Well, it's more like their memories are adjusting, but it's like they're realizing it.
Right.
Like suddenly the memories adjust, and it's like, oh, wait, turns out I remembered this differently than it happened
Yeah, because
the first
they
time.
mention it as the Mandela effect, and that the Mandela effect may have been created by a time traveler.
I know everything about these murders. But a couple of days ago, I said Tiffany was murdered in her garage, but she wasn't. She was killed on her parents' waterbed. That's a basic detail. How could I forget that?
The Mandela effect. It's a psychological phenomenon where people remember things that didn't happen. Like people thinking Nelson Mandela died in jail. But there's a theory that those memories aren't false. They're just lingering from a past life that was altered via time travel.
Right, like somebody altered history, and the people who are remembering, let's say, Sinbad being in a Shazam movie in the mid-90s, that's a real true memory that you have, but history has been adjusted. And what you're actually remembering is a previous sequence of events. It should be called the Sinbad effect, of course, because there's all those people out there who remember a Sinbad movie in the 90s.
That's just confusing it with Kazam.
Yeah, I know. It's because they saw a trailer for Kazam and Jingle All the Way at the same time, and they just mashed it all together.
And why wouldn't Sinbad do Kazam?
Sinbad and Shaq both look the goddamn same.
Yeah, all right.
No, they do not. They do not, folks.
Not even close.
Sinbad, though, a little bit like Nelson Mandela.
What's the other one? Berenstain Bears?
Oh, yeah.
Versus Berenstein Bears.
It's like Berenstein Bears and
yeah, there's all
Berenstain
kinds
Bears.
of them online, and it's actually kind of fun to look at, especially at our age.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very nebulous effect changing the past has in this movie.
Well,
you know?
yeah, like she can alter 2023, but since she herself is not in 2023, as these alterations are happening, her memories aren't adjusted.
Right.
What she remembers remains what she experienced previously, because she always experienced that.
But the podcaster in the future, his memory is changing in real time, like it's
Al Calavici sitting in that hearing to get funding for Quantum Leap at the end of season 1.
Yeah, that or it's like Looper. Things change in the past and you slowly remember them later.
Or like somebody's carving into you in the past and your old self suddenly has welts being carved into his skin, right?
It doesn't matter. When I hurt myself, it changes your body. This is what I do now, change your memory.
It doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, because the dad gets stabbed as a teenager, so he probably developed a scar.
Sure.
I think the part that was most interesting is that it seemed like Jamie was trying to send messages into the future at one point, because podcaster guy and her best friend, Amelia, see her in a photograph in the past.
Oh, they do, yeah. So they know that she's back there.
Right, and she had written a note into one of the photos or something.
Do you have more photos from that night?
Yeah, the official crime scene ones, and ones I took at the party for the yearbook.
There she is! That's her!
Holy shit.
Oh my god! Jamie's back in 1987. That note. The note was a message to me. Stab the machine. Stab the machine. The killer's knife must have got stuck in the conductor somehow, and Jamie's trying to tell me that I need an extra metal conductor.
Are we sure that's not just a demonic rune?
It's not a rune, Chris. Jamie's trying to solve the murders.
But they're all still dead.
The note said stab the machine. It was left at the crime scene. Because it was like, that was the missing piece. What you didn't do was stab the console.
Yeah.
that was the thing that you didn't do that made this time travel device work.
Right. But then they don't really do much else with it. It becomes anecdotal.
Right. And it's signed J, right? Like Jamie. And that's a J. Everyone thought it was a demonic rune. That's what the podcaster guy says, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's it. Oh, man, we haven't even talked about Damon.
Which one's Damon?
Mr. Red Herring, the lab partner, who's the sister of the person that the...
God, there's so many characters. Again, slasher flick.
So many characters, yeah. And because, like, on top of all the victims, you need an array of people who are possible killers. And this movie gives you Damon, who is the quiet, weird lab partner that Jamie has in science class.
But also supposedly violent, with a motive.
Right.
And a mysterious van that's parked at the party.
And I think we should also note that there was a character named Fat Trish who died about a year prior to the events.
You can't say that.
You can't say that.
You can't call her that.
She died about a year prior to the events of the movie, right? And the Mollies were the ones responsible for her death, which was a drunk driving accident. This cat, Damon.
They call him Lurch.
Lurch is her brother, so he's got the motive. He's drawn weird-ass pictures in his notebook, guys. You've also got this character, Eddie Coburn, who is the rocker guy.
Yeah.
Who's kind of lingering in the background all the time. And
that the mother is already wary of.
Yes. They're both red herrings, of course, because they're exactly the sorts of characters you expect to be the killer, so of course they're not. Now, when Jamie goes in and starts to dig around in his van, Damon comes in, Lurch comes in, she kicks him in the face, and he just says, okay, take whatever you want, just please leave the Thundercats. Which I appreciated. That was pretty great. And timely. 87. That was the year for that.
That's
so,
the year.
Good for him. Who else? Is there another like red herring character? I don't think there is. Because the actual killer ends up being, I don't know, someone you probably don't expect, and you're not really supposed to expect, because you're not really given the information that would allow him to be a suspect until after he's dead.
Yeah.
And they know who it was.
Right.
And it's this character, Doug?
Well, he ends up being the principal.
Doug, the principal in the future, was the killer in the past, and you find out that Fat Trish was his girlfriend. But you don't have that information at all, unless I missed something.
And Brian, you can't call her that.
It's so great. Speaking of other funny gags in the movie, after the second killing, when Heather is killed, the kids go to the police station, and Jamie has this Ziploc bag with this, like, bloodied rag in it.
Yeah,
and
with the DNA bit.
What's this?
I hit the killer in the head with a piece of firewood, and I soaked up some of his blood with that paper towel. You have his DNA.
What's that?
DNA? It's like, I don't know what it stands for. It's like specific to the person. You just plug it into the worldwide database.
Sure, sweetheart. We'll just fire up the old worldwide DMA database. I'm solving crimes. All right, now let's get serious.
Man.
Well, I don't know what it stands for. Great moment. I laughed out loud at that part, for sure.
Yeah, there is a great John Mulaney bit about being a detective before there was DNA evidence. The sheriff in the future is a potential suspect at one point in the past. And her dad gives her a real scythe for her costume that she could
Yes.
also use as protection.
Her dad, played by Randall Park, like we
Randall
said
Park.
before, yeah.
Who's really great in this.
He really is.
What is he? He's listing the types of people he hates in order.
Yeah.
Old people, sick people, and people with dogs.
That's the order you hate people in?
Yep.
It's a good order. Yeah.
And that's it. That's how we're introduced to them.
Yeah. That.
Man. She says, I'm an exchange student from Prince Edward Island, Canada.
Sounds made up.
It's not. It's a real place.
So many funny moments. This is the only other one I'll mention right now because I'm scrolling through all these, and there's another really funny.
I know it wasn't Eddie, but how do you know it wasn't Eddie?
He told me all about that night, how he was making out with Tiffany, but then left as soon as she said she doesn't do blowjobs. Just think, maybe if she did do blowjobs, she'd still be alive.
Yeah, let's not make that the lesson.
Everybody gets great lines in this.
Yeah.
And there's also some great needle drops, as you would expect. I said earlier that...
Got to. It's the 80s.
Well, that's what I think, but Wonder Woman 1984 sure didn't do that. But we get Killing Moon by Echo and the Bunnymen.
Is there a better song to open the 80s with? When she slides back the curtain to the photo booth to reveal the 80s. Perfect.
Bananarama.
Right.
Venus. Good music choices made, not overbearing, and it really is like she's time traveled, like you said, back into an 80s movie, more than she does back into the 80s decade itself, right?
Yeah.
Which I think helps sell the entire slasher story even more.
Plot-wise, she does get to kind of meet her mother and her father and see what they were like in high school, which is what Back to the Future was about, right? Basically getting to meet your parents. And
it's mostly about the relationship between her and her mother, right?
Yeah.
The revelations with her dad come specifically as tied to that Halloween costume he has on at the beginning, where it's just like that airbrushed ab shirt.
Yeah, and he's like, I used to be cut.
He said, I'm Zac Efron. And he talks about how he used to have abs, and then he comes out of that swimming pool, and Jamie's like, who is that? That's Blake Hughes. Ugh!
Yeah, that's
my dad. And then it happens again at the end of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know, she has the same problem, and she observes, like, why does this keep happening to me?
Yeah, it's funny. The bulk of the relationships, such as it is, apparently we as parents always tell our kids that we're different than we were. You don't see where that mean girl could grow into that mom.
No, Pam Miller is like nice. Like worried about loud music hurting your eardrums. Nice.
Are you smoking crack? Pam Miller's the Wicked Witch of Vernon. Get off the court, loser!
You know?
Yeah.
I just don't think people change from high school.
I'm sorry, I'm not gonna shake your hand because I'm not 45 and a man.
Come over after school and you can set up for the party while I do my hair.
Okay. You know, where I'm from, birthday parties are considered so lame. Like, I don't know, maybe you should cancel it.
Maybe you should fuck off and die.
Jesus, Mom.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not that drastically. But there's enough scenes in there where Pam shows her softer side, especially when they go over to the house.
Tell anyone and I'll kill you.
Go over to Pam's house, and she's got all those videotapes, and she's got this kind of probably semi-closeted life that her friends don't really know about. Like, there's this superficiality to her friendship with the Mollies that isn't really brought to the fore, but is implied.
Yeah, a little bit.
A few times throughout, especially at the end when you find out that when Trish was killed, Pam had nothing to do with that. And so she even kind of separates herself from that group. Like, I can't believe they would act and treat somebody that way. You know?
Yeah, but she's also very vapid in certain moments. Like,
well, she's also
like
very
when
horny.
She cuts her hand with the knife when they're up in the cabin. She accidentally cuts her hand, and
oh yeah.
Am I gonna die?
Well, I don't think so. Not if I find the bandages.
I can't tell my mom that I sliced my hand open because I was all fucked up from 4 shots and a pound of weed.
Tell you get into a bike accident.
You're right. I can lie. You're so smart.
I wish that there was more meat to a plot that we could get into here, but I mean, if we're honest, I think that time travel is what's going to give us most of the conversation.
Yeah, honestly, Doug is the first killer, but then you
Right.
also find out that there's a second killer, and the second killer is Chris Dubasage from the future, the podcast guy.
Mhm.
So 2023 is Chris Dubasage. He's the second killer, the one that killed Pam and is coming after Jamie now as she tries to find her way back to 2023.
Right.
And this is the interesting part because as Chris is chasing her down, he murders his own father on live television. Right? His news reporter father, who he's always envied and he's been chasing, you know, the fame and fortune of. He's just a local news reporter, right?
Yeah, but he did win a Pulitzer.
But he did win a Pulitzer. And so then he kills his own father, thereby changing his own destiny moving forward. Now, of course, Chris, much like Jamie, existing outside of time now. So there's going to be a different version of Chris back in the future.
So if there are going to be 2 Chris's,
wouldn't there then be 2
Jamies?
Probably. There have been changes made to Jamie's life as a result of the time travel.
Significant changes.
Despite her best efforts. I mentioned this a second ago. There's a second time at the end of the movie where some handsome stud comes walking up to her. Who is that? And Lauren, adult Lauren, says, that's your 34-year-old brother.
Yeah.
He's so much older than her because now her parents did actually hook up in high school and produce a child.
Right.
From that union.
Which would change so much.
Sure. Here it's treated mostly for laughs, you know. It's
treated for laughs, and all it really does is change her name.
And that was kind of the coolest part of it.
Yeah.
Like how her name's not Jamie anymore, now it's Colette.
Yeah. But the point is, there is a Colette there.
Yes.
There's no real reason to believe that things would be similar enough at the end that they'd even live in the same house. And then when Lauren is telling Colette or Jamie about her older brother, the other thing she says is that she's had to wait 34 years to tell her about this, right? I am having trouble squaring that peg with Lauren's experience.
Colette, Jamie, whatever, she would have ultimately had to travel back in time one way or another, I guess.
There's got to be 2 of them.
Yeah. There should be 2 of them.
I mean,
You're
even
right.
in Back to the Future, when they do this in Back to the Future 2, there are 2 Martys. It just so happens that one of those Martys is in Switzerland.
Right.
That's a big, again, played for laughs. We can call it a comedy, and we should stop worrying about it too much. But you, at least, are supposed to be a stickler for rules.
Oh, what are the rules? What are the rules? What are the rules? What are the rules?
Yeah, well, there are 2 things in this movie that seem to violate the structure that we're presented with. That's one of them, right? Where if there are 2 versions of the podcast or of Chris, right, then there should also be 2 versions of Jamie. Yes.
Right.
If history has in fact changed enough. I think the movie's just asking you to consider that, hey, okay, so it didn't change that much, right? And she's just kind of coming back to a world that she, you know.
Now I've just got to read a little bit and, brush up on how my life actually went.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And to be fair, that's the same thing Back to the Future 1 does. Right?
Yeah.
Where,
That's true.
Marty comes back and the family he left behind in 1985 previously doesn't exist anymore. This is a different version of that same family, but we're asked to...
Yeah, so there should be 2 Martys.
We're asked to assume that everything happened the way it would have happened regardless. Now, in Back to the Future, it makes sense because the triggering time travel event has nothing to do with Marty's parents or family, right? It's all about Doc testing the time machine.
Which he's going to do regardless.
Which he would do regardless, and Marty would be present for regardless, right? Now, in this movie, the main reason that she travels in time is because of this killer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if that instigating factor wasn't there,
Right. So with regards to time travel and the killer, on Halloween night at the opening of the movie, when Pam Hughes, the mother, is attacked at the front door, it's Chris that's under the mask. Yes?
Yes.
So...
because he's trying to perpetuate the myth, right? And that's why he gives that fake note to Jamie that implies that the killer was always planning to come after Pam. But we know the killer wasn't going to come after Pam because Pam wasn't involved in the accident that killed Trish.
Right.
Right. The original killer only killed those three girls because they were the three who were directly
So that whole sequence really seemed to imply that there were two of them, because he runs out the front door and immediately arrives behind her coming out of the back door. So for a second there, I thought maybe there were two killers, and I didn't know if that's just, the trickery of a slasher movie where, the killer is just unstoppable, superhuman somehow.
Yeah.
Because podcaster Chris does not seem like a guy that could take that kind of beating.
That's fair, too.
The other guy, maybe.
He does get the shit kicked out of him quite a bit in the first 10 minutes of this movie.
He seems like he would be so much more inept than the killer was in 1987.
What's always the guy you're going to least expect?
Yeah, well...
Right? I think that's a slasher thing.
It's supposed to be, yeah, for sure. And when they're superhuman once they've got the mask on. It's just kind of how it works. You have to realize if they're wearing the mask, they're superhuman almost.
Yes. Yeah, it gives them power.
Yeah.
So the second element of the time travel that really stuck in my craw a little bit, that doesn't quite work. There are two closed loop items in this movie that are on predestination loops. Do you know what they are?
Okay. Let's see.
Things that have no origin point, as we are presented in this movie.
Yeah.
The vintage jacket and the crystal.
Oh.
Right?
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying, because they're giving to her by her mother.
Right. Jamie gets the jacket from her mother and the crystal from her mother, which she said was given to her by a psychic. Yeah. And then the crystal is given from Jamie to Pam in the past.
Yeah.
And she leaves the jacket with Pam when she comes back to the future.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So both of those things don't have any origin point.
Right, yeah. No, I hadn't really thought about that.
And it's cool to have stuff like that, but that's not the kind of time travel we're dealing with here.
Yeah, no, you know what? I did notice that kind of with the gym, because I remember thinking, oh, it's cool that...
The movie opens with a version of reality in which Jamie clearly has not traveled back in time yet.
Right.
Pam, as we meet her in the first scenes of this, never met Jamie as a teenager.
Right. Supposedly.
Right.
And
but she's got the jacket and she's got the crystal already.
Yeah, but see, I wasn't even thinking about it in terms of the actual objects that she gets from her own daughter in the past. But I did think about it in the moment that Jamie decides she's going to pretend to be a psychic. Mm-hmm. I thought, oh, is that why her mom in the future is so willing to believe in psychics? But that's the same thing that you're talking about here. It's just without a physical object, because there's no reason for her to believe in psychics based on the actions of Jamie if Jamie hasn't yet traveled back.
So again, I don't think the way the time travel is presented in this movie by Lauren, who is our time travel expert in the film, when she's explaining how time travel works, how adjustments to the future can affect somebody who's traveled back in time.
Imagine that time is like a river. You got out of the river, ran upstream, and then jumped back in. Now everything keeps flowing, so Whatever changes you make, they'll trickle downstream.
So if I change everything for the better, it's okay.
Theoretically.
And if time keeps flowing, what's happening back home?
Like, I don't think you can have that and also have closed loop items floating around in a circle chronologically in the middle of this.
Right. So what would you expect are supposed to happen? If she takes the gem and she takes the jacket back to the past.
She's got the crystal. She's got the jacket. She goes over to Pam's house, looks in the closet, sees the exact same jacket she's wearing right now. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, look. Oh, and then maybe they make a comment like, oh, we've been shopping at the same store or something like that. Jamie shows her the crystal in the past and doesn't give her the crystal, but that gives her the credence to say, hey, you know what? I believe in psychics and I believe in crystals. And later on in her life, she meets another psychic and says, yes, I met somebody who had a crystal just like this once and I believe in it and I believe I'll pay $30 for it. You know?
Okay. That's how it would fix it.
And for all I know, that could have happened. But given what the movie presents us with, we are to believe that those are two closed loop items.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no,
Which, again, I'm a sucker for those things, but I just don't think it works here, mechanically.
I think it's kind of neat, but it doesn't play with how they resolve the movie. If her actions in the past save her mother's life, then it can't be that way.
Right.
You know, if her actions in the past change the future enough to save her mother's life and create a new brother and kill the principal who can no longer become the principal.
Yeah. Now Randy becomes the principal.
Did he?
Didn't he at the end? Didn't they say Randy became the principal?
Maybe.
Well, I'm in touch with this emotion.
Stupid goober.
Seems reasonable.
I just love that character. What a fucking moron.
Yeah. It is fun though.
I think that's the whole thing about the movie. Like,
so
is this movie a time travel movie primarily, a slasher movie, or a comedy? And I put it as comedy, slasher, time travel. Right? With slasher and time travel going neck and neck with each other, but I think this movie is setting out to be a tongue-in-cheek kind of comedy, fun movie.
Yeah.
And so if it can do something a little clever with the jacket and the crystal and all that stuff, it's just sort of like, am I more concerned with adhering to a strict set of time travel rules, or am I more concerned with being amusing? And I think amusing wins out.
Yeah.
And I think it's effective, and I think it works.
Yeah,
that's why I'm willing to give it a pass on that, honestly.
Yeah,
because
I'm not even willing to really try to label it. I feel like if I were forced to, the first thing I think of is slasher, that it's a slasher movie.
Yeah.
But there are so many slasher comedies that are slasher comedies, but it just kind of works that I don't know that this can be labeled as one or the other. It's just all of them. It just is all of them.
I think it's a good Halloween season movie to watch.
Sure.
Like it's light. It still scratches all the right spooky season itches, but it's a fun movie to sit down and watch.
If you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style?
With regards to the actual time machine and ranking the actual time machine, you seem to hint at the fact that you feel like this is pretty high up on the list.
No, I don't necessarily think it's high. I just think it's fun to be rating an actual time machine.
Oh, okay. Instead of some kind of weird nebulous,
like a portal or something. Like, it's nothing like that. This is an actual time machine built into a photo booth. So another novelty item.
But then later into a video game and into a quantum
into the quantum drop. Yeah, it's built into a race car game cabinet. Later, that's the second one.
Right.
And then the return trip back, they have to put that engine or like CPU or whatever into the quantum drop, which is the only thing that create the level of energy, the 1.21 gigawatts of power that are needed to transfer
about gravity or something.
Yeah, something to do with
Have
gravity.
you ever been in one of those things?
Yeah. It's really fucking weird.
I mean, I remember it when I was a kid. Like,
it is pretty cool though. It's a great vessel for the final encounter with a murderer.
Except that he walks on the side of it.
You're stuck against the wall. He's like inching towards you.
Yeah.
It's a neat device for that. Also, it's got the word quantum in its name, so that's also kind of fun as a time machine.
Yeah, perfect.
So yeah, I think the time machine does take a few different.
How much do you know about quantum mechanics,
forms.
Brian?
I mean, I've read a couple of Stephen Hawking's books, but I couldn't.
You're supposed to say, "Well, I saw Endgame."
All right. That's right. God, geez, yeah.
How much do you know about quantum mechanics?
I saw Endgame, but I didn't really understand it.
Oh, she just casually throws that out there like anybody knows what the fuck you're talking about.
So I don't know. I think it's difficult to rate because there are 3 different ones.
I would, in this case, default to the photo booth with the knife stuck in it. That's covering all your bases there. That's the time travel and the slasher all rolled into one thing. Now, if I were using one of these devices, absolutely arcade. but I think for the sake of ranking this, it should be the very first one that transports her back to 87.
I mean, it is fun that it is a time machine, but I don't find it particularly fascinating or interesting.
No, I think it ends up around the same spot as a lot of our, I don't want to call it like the detritus of the time travel devices. There's, we've got the time regressor, the bulwark. This is essentially a time regressor.
What? No. How?
I mean, it also takes photos.
I mean, it doesn't. The thing, look, I don't.
In that you have to plug it in. It doesn't really. Yeah, okay.
Not to belabor the time regressor here, but the thing that was great about the time regressor is that in reality, that machine does everything you need or want a time machine to do, which is one, it's super easy. 2, there's no trouble getting back as long as you set the dial correctly.
As long as an adult is using it.
It's just simple. Like, you set the time, you get to go. It's like beaming there, and there's no threat about how am I going to get back because it just brings you back. Like, so when you rank it as a time machine, it's like, what else are you looking for in a time machine?
Well, that's the bulwark, so this goes underneath.
Right, this is going to go under that. And, I don't feel like it's this only works by accident because it gets stabbed by a knife.
So is it above or below Kenneth's boat from Safety Not Guaranteed?
For me, it's below.
Is it above or below the escape hatch?
I think it's got to go lower than that, too.
Is it above or below the Bermuda Triangle?
Well, why am I making all the decisions here? How are you feeling about it?
I would put it between Kenneth's boat and the escape hatch, personally.
You think it's better than the escape hatch?
Well, the escape hatch does do all its job, right? But I mean, like, I don't know. It's like
You're
it's
the one
kind
that
of
likes
like
the escape hatch. I'm not...
It's like Doc Brown says: if you're going to build a time machine, why not do it with some style? I think every single time machine in this movie, whichever one we end up rating, pretty stylish, pretty clever time machines in this movie. Things that have been adapted to work as time machines. A photo booth, an arcade cabinet, and a whole ass gyroscope from the carnival. You know what I mean?
All right. I don't know. I mean, I like the boat. I don't think it's better than the escape hatch.
Yeah, but there's works, damn it. The escape hatch is cool because you see its development across eras, but
I don't think that this is better than the fun that is the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, wow, really?
I mean, I love the Bermuda Triangle. After, we ranked it that way because...
it is cool. It is cool, and we had the whole commercial at the end of that episode.
I'm sorry you've gotten there, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right.
So what's under the Bermuda Triangle?
The time travel transporter from Relativity, the Voyager episode. And then we get into subspace inversion from The Visitor.
I think it's right there. Personally, for me, I feel like as far as a time machine goes, would I prefer to be just beamed the way the transporter one is? Yes, that's what I would prefer. As far as a movie time machine with some style, this one's more interesting than that. So I feel like I'd put it right above the transporter and probably below the Bermuda Triangle because fucking Bermuda Triangle, man.
Yeah, and Bermuda Triangle is still number 13 on the list, and it feels like, we should probably stay there for as long as possible.
At least another episode, maybe.
All right, so number 14.
Well, you didn't put up too much of a fight on that one.
I mean, I think you're right. I think it goes under the time regressor somewhere, and I think this is the right spot for it.
All right.
Now, is it a device I would probably rather use than most of the top 13 items on this? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we don't typically rank them as which one we'd want to use.
No, because some of these are really terrible. I wouldn't want to use them at all.
Like a cryoprison, for example?
The Free Jack time machine. I have no desire to use that.
Oh, that's so fucking cool, though, in a movie.
Yeah. I would gladly use the Atavachron, I think. Wouldn't use the clock that went backward, personally. That wouldn't be my first thing.
No, but it's cool.
It is cool. There's a lot of cool things.
You'd have to you'd definitely have to reorganize these
based
if
on
it were based on what you were going to use.
Yeah, usage preference. Thank God we're not doing that.
Right. So that was fun. That was a fun holiday spirited movie. But what is on deck for next week?
We're gonna just take the starch right out of this here noodle. It's time because you wanted to. You're the one.
I have never heard that expression before.
Did
you just make that up?
No, man. No, I use it a lot.
Taking the starch out of a noodle?
In the board, that
is
really
that a
takes.
Thing?
No, that really takes the starch out of my noodle. It's like,
is that a saying? Or did you make that up?
No, I heard it somewhere at some point. I know I got it from something.
Okay.
But
all right. Well, I'm glad to have heard it.
Yeah.
I'm going to start using it myself.
That's one of my favorites. So it's like if you were just sucking the excitement out of the room, the horniness is gone. The starch is out of the noodle. The next episode, we're going to be reading Chrononauts 2. Nate.
Oh, no.
The time has come. Nate's had this book in his possession for over a year now, I think. And, I
got to give a shout out to my co-worker and friend Jacob Wampler gave this to me because I made him read Chrononauts because I hated it so much.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's...
And he also hated it and then purchased Chrononauts 2, I guess to see if it's just as bad, and then to gift it to me.
Oh, nice.
So I have it on my shelf. So by next episode, I have to read Chrononauts 2.
Yeah. Me too. I'll have to buy a copy of it.
You don't have it in your possession
Give
yet.
it a read. No, I don't have it. For reasons we'll go into in the next episode, I'm sure. And I probably talked about when we talked about Chrononauts 1 a bit, but I will go into much greater detail next time. Even though as it was coming out, really did enjoy Chrononauts 1 quite a bit. I don't disagree with any of Nate's opinions about Chrononauts 1, but I just think it's
so awful.
It's a real rip-roaring,
so
misogynistic.
So go back and listen if you haven't. Go back and listen to that episode.
You might want to go back.
I don't think I've hated anything on this podcast as much as I hated that book, and now I've got to read the sequel.
And you do too. Feel free to find a copy of Chrononauts 2. I think it's on Comixology, and hopefully you can find it for about as much as this Long Halloween volume. Don't have to pay over $10 for it. But we'll see. I don't know. But until then, guys, thanks for listening. Of course, remember to subscribe to the show on your preferred podcast apps. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't you download 4 or 5 podcast apps and subscribe to the show on all 5 of them?
Oh, good idea.
Right? Then you'll download it 5 times. You got the room on your phone, right? You've got Dropbox, Google. You got room to save these things. Make sure you rate the show. Leave us comments. Tell me some of your favorite Halloween watches.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to hear that. Drop us a line at ohboyqlpod@gmail.com. That's our email address. And don't forget to follow us on social media. We're OhBoyPod on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads. Trying to keep those as updated as possible. Well, until next time, folks, I'm Brian.
And I'm Nate.
And we'll see you in the future.
We found a pool of the killer's blood in that hallway. He would just be like, gross. Mop it up. Now then, back to my hunch. Look for clues. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll draw chalk around where the body is. That way we'll know where it was.